sporting event. It's the Transatlantic Wrestling Challenge. My name's Mark Webster. I am from London, England. You might have guessed that. This is Mark Carson. Where are you from, sir?
Sunny Connecticut in the USA.
Apparently it's quite lovely there. I have to trust him on that one. Okay, we've got the cream of talent from both sides of the water for you today. 16 wrestlers are going to be competing in this particular tournament. 8 from the UK, 8 from the US, and the best is going to be the one who comes out on top.
The cream rises to the top, but it won't be Devonshire cream that comes to the top. In this match, it'll be American.
Mike seems to think that the Yanks are going to win this one. We're going to find out over the next few programs.
From Cumbria, weighing 225 pounds, the Vigilante!
Now, what's with this, Mark Webster?
And first up, here he comes. This is the Cumbria Cowboy. He is the Vigilante.
Come on.
We've got that American team running for you straight away, Mike.
Oh, wannabe American, Mark. Don't go off half-cocked here. This guy's about as much of a cowboy as you are.
The whole point about the Vigilante is over here, and he's seeking revenge.
For what? For what?
Weighing 230 pounds, David Young!
David Young bearing his belt. But the revenge that the Cowboy is looking for is he wants revenge for you stealing our sporting heritage, Mike. Wrestling's our game.
Stealing it, improving it, and making it better all the way around. And David Young, now you've got a real American against a wannabe American.
Yeah, a real American might have to agree with you. No class, completely uncouth.
You'll watch, you'll see what he does in the ring.
Looks like the guys are ready for action.
Vigilante's got a long list of British triumphs to think of. Dunkirk.
He's going to be, he'll be fine in there. He takes his time. Slightly bigger guy, it might be argued there, getting rid of the gold. Vigilante moves straight in with a painful move. Now, let me just explain to you at this stage, these are 5-minute contests. If it's one inside the distance, it's 3 points for the winner. If it goes to a referee's decision, it's 2 points for the winner and 1 for the loser. Well, David Young, as he's known in this bout.
Nice drop toe hold by the Vigilante. Gotta give him credit for that one. He's got David Young in a headlock now.
No doubt he'll be claiming jet lag, Mike, but I've got to say the Vigilante's looking good and early.
He's looking pretty hokey. I mean, this is gunfight at the Hokey Corral. Vigilante's shooting blanks, as far as I'm concerned.
I think you'll find David maybe headed for Boot Hill, mate. He's working him overnight. It's all the Vigilante so far. If this one goes the distance, you know where the points are going, mate.
It's going to be high noon for the Vigilante, Mark.
Once again, the Cowboys in. Oh, nice punches.
That's it. Get him back. Quick move to the head. That's simple wrestling skill. Puts him down now. David Young now ready to do the business.
Well, you say simple wrestling skills. I don't think our crowd, who understands good wrestling when they see it, like these kind of tactics, mate.
David Young's got him all lined up in his sights now.
Now, I'll give you there's a lot of David Young, but Vigilante's making small meal of him. He's landing heavy on this one.
Oh, he missed off the rope. A high-risk maneuver, and he paid the price. Just not as smart as the Americans, Mark.
The Vigilante just got around 30 seconds to hang on in there. I think 30 seconds, and he's picked up the first points for the UK side, and that will be a tremendous start for our campaign to become the best wrestlers.
You're not going to give the decision to a wannabe over a real American. The turnbuckle did more damage to David Young than the Vigilante's done.
Self-inflicted injury there from Young. He's going up top. He's going up top. He's going to finish him here and now. Oh!
Headbutt off the top.
Going for the final, going for the press. He's going to get the count.
And there's the bell. No pin, no pin. There's the bell. It goes to the referee's decision.
It's gone to 2. That's a 2 count now.
It goes to the referee's decision, and the American has it, Mark.
It's going to John. No, there's our boy. It's our boy. Yes, indeed.
What
the
a
Vigilante
homer.
Wins.
What a homer.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is your winner, the Vigilante.
What do you expect? What do you expect from a British referee?
John Hall is one of the finest referees in the game. He knows the game. He used to play the game himself.
I'm not sure if John Hall knows what he's seeing. You know, I'm not sure if he's seeing. So, first blood to the British. The Vigilante picks up 2 points. David Young gets 1 for going the distance, and the American is not very happy.
David, you are full of fighting, talking confidence. What was my...
There's no talking going on here. I'm telling you, I was robbed. You saw that he only did a 2 count, and then he raises his hand. That's not going to happen. When I go back out to that ring, I am going to kill the next Brit I get in the ring with. Nobody does this to me. You people are the rudest people I've ever met in my life, and I have no desire to talk to you any further.
Well, thank you, David.
From Gravesend in Kent, he weighs 240 pounds, Gary Steele!
Listen to the cheers for this man. Here is the great British hope. It is Gary Steele, a young man who's done the business before. He's been a champion.
Where did he get that cake? Did Superman tie-dye one of his leftovers?
Well, Gary, as we all know over here, is a genuine Superman. He's fought the Americans and he's beaten them, Mike.
Now, I got to admit, Gary Steele was the NWA World Champion. He won that title in the United States, but basically, he had one lucky match. He got one lucky win, and otherwise, he comes over here and beats up chumps.
His opponent hails from Huntsville, Alabama. He weighs 220 pounds, Sinn!
Speaking of beating up jumps, here's your latest.
Now, this guy, he's gothic what it takes.
Well, I told you Gary's dangerous. This man's turned white with fear already, Mike. Am I correct in saying that?
Sinn is an interesting wrestler. I mean, Huntsville, Alabama, more like Hauntsville, Alabama, but he's a strange guy, but he's a smart wrestler, and he usually does just enough to win. You'd be surprised at the ways this guy can come up with wins.
Yeah, but he's up against a superior athlete in the shape of Gary Steele. He's up against a man in the exceptionally slippery uniform, very wise, except he's like a bar of soap for Gary down there. Keep their hold of him.
I mean, Gary's a British wrestler. He doesn't see much soap, you know, once a week in the tin tub.
I mean, look, we're only just a couple of minutes into this battle already, and look, it's just all still, Mike. I mean, you must know that. You can see that from where we're sitting here. Gary Steele all the way.
Well, like I said, Sinn's a funny wrestler. It sometimes takes him a long time to get into a match, and he doesn't really seem to do very much. But he can come up with wins. Missed that spinning kick, and Gary Steele lands a big elbow coming off.
Well, he's taking plenty of hits. He's doing that very well, Mike. It has to be said, it's Gary all the way.
It's a slow start, that's all. You know, guys just came off the plane. They're jet lagged. It takes a while to get going.
That's your excuse, is it? Okay, well, I'll trust you on that. Yeah, Gary's working away, yes. He's going to straighten out those curves for him if he can. And look, there's the face of our level. That's how we stand at this point. It is the commissioner
of the Transatlantic Wrestling Challenge.
He's keeping on top of the game. This is the man who knows the rules. He made the rules, and he's just making sure it's a good, clean fight. And you can't believe just how easily Gary is winning this fight. I'm sure that's what's going through his mind at the moment.
I wonder why he was out there, though. Do you think maybe he's checking on J.J. Rivers, the referee he brought in from the States?
Well, I wouldn't care to speculate about such things, Mike, because that would imply a certain impropriety on the Americans.
Well, the commissioner is there supposedly to make sure everything works out fine. There's Sinn. Sinn's getting back into this match now.
The commissioner is out there because he wants to make sure that when he sees his grandchildren, what happens is he said, I was there when I saw the champ. Once again, Gary getting himself on. He's got the crowd with him. He's got the points in the bag. This is a great start for what has to be said is our #1 contender for this title.
Takes down Sinn from the headlock. Sinn has spent a lot of time down on the mat.
Now, what does Sinn actually do trying to get himself back into
see the reversal there with the head scissors? Got Gary Sinn the head scissors, and this is going to hurt him.
Okay, I'm liking it, but it's the first time I've seen him actually do anything apart from suffering, Mike.
Well, like I said, it took him a while to get acclimated. Jet lag takes over. Sinn doing just enough to stay in the match.
And I do believe just seeing his mouth there, that not only is he going to need a doctor at the end of this bout, perhaps a dentist as well wouldn't go missing.
He's got about as many teeth as your toothless British lion.
Gary back on top where he's been for this entire bout, and I think we're on our way to our first serious victory here for our #1 contender.
I suppose Gary Steele's got a full Austin Powers set of teeth. Good British choppers.
Well, as you can see, he's a very fine slab of British beef, and he's exactly the kind of man to be taking wrestling and working as an ambassador abroad.
Nice drop kick.
That, Mike? I know I did.
Nice drop kick by Gary Steele.
And I know Sinn did.
But Sinn kicks out. He's still waiting. He's waiting a bit too long now. We're in the last minute of the match. Sinn really needs to do something now.
Yeah, exactly. But what, Mike? We've seen him make one move so far on Gary, and Gary's smiled all the way through it, I seem to recall.
Well, Gary hasn't hurt Sinn much. He's dominated the match, but Sinn's been hanging in there.
Well, JJ's keeping a close look on that face now. Now that hurts, doesn't it? That's a face of pain.
That was before the paint went on.
And this is Gary going for the big finish inside. No, just pulled out. Just a few seconds left now. Gary's absolutely walked his way through this particular fight.
Sinn going into the crucifix now. Gary Sinn kicks out again.
Yeah, the 3 points would have been great, but this goes all the way. It's 2 in the bag for Gary Steele. Great start for his challenge.
Sinn may have left it too long.
There you go. 2 points in the bag for Gary
after
Steele.
the bell. That's a cruel blow. That's bad sportsmanship.
I think that just puts a final flourish on what was a fabulous victory. What?
Here is your winner, Sinn.
Not only does he throw Gary Steele's arm down, he then throws Sinn's arm up.
Well, you can't make the referee lift your arm.
That is a ridiculous decision as well. No, I'm sorry, this man has refereed before, Mike, has he, JJ Rivers? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, remember, he's seeing the match from a different angle than we are, Mark.
Perhaps with his eyes shut as well, would that be right? I don't know how. Was that a victory for the American? I can't see it.
Sinn held in there the whole way. Controversy in the ring as Sinn is given the win and 2 points thanks to that highly questionable refereeing decision. And the action continues after the break as the Kung Fu Kid tangles with Rick Michaels.
You fly me all the way over here, and you give me the Kung Fu Kid. Kung Fu Kid, I'm going to break you in half, and I'm going to show you how we do it, American style. Kung Fu Kid. I thought I was going to get some competition over here.
Thanks, man.
Chewing ice white is the easy way to reduce the stains that build up on your teeth, time after time, throughout the day. Ice white sugar-free gum from Wrigley's for a cleaner, whiter smile. I really do.
From Grayson, Essex, weighing 160 pounds, the Kung Fu Kid.
There's the kid from Grays in Essex. That is the east side of England, and he's obviously got an eastern state of mind, Mike.
Far east and far out as far as I'm concerned. And what's that lampshade he had on his head? I mean, Cooley and the gang?
I believe I got into Kung Fu. It's a way that will make me greater in wrestling. Kung Fu teaches that through suffering, it builds character. And I know how to make people suffer. I may look stupid in the ring, I may do something fancy, but people just don't understand. For every move, there is a purpose. For every hand, for every blow, there's a purpose behind it. And that's what makes me great. I may not be the biggest man in wrestling, I may not be the strongest, but I believe my strength and my power comes within. And I've learnt that through the Kung Fu training, through the years, the teachers, the scrolls, papers I've learnt, the lessons. It all just makes me a stronger man within. I am the Kung Fu Kid.
And his opponent hails from Jacksonville, Florida. He weighs 224 pounds. This is Rick Michaels.
And Rick Michaels is a guy who really knows how to wrestle.
Well, I mean, you may have been taking a little pop there at the Kung Fu Kid. This fella doesn't exactly look like he's too cooked himself either. Bit scruffy around the edges, this fella, isn't he, Mike?
He's a wrestler, and you'll see on his back he's got bad attitude written across his back, and that's what Rick Michaels has, is a lot of bad attitude.
Well, he may have a lot of bad attitude, but in a moment's time we're going to find out if he's a bad wrestler as well.
I'll take bad attitude over Eastern mysticism anytime, especially when it's east of England.
The Kung Fu Kick moving straight into his martial arts. Rick's not that impressive.
And straight out of his martial arts as well. Basically just knocked the foo out of the Kung.
Of course, the Kung Fu Kid, he has studied all of the mystical powers that he can bring from the Orient. He's full of Eastern promise. It's a matter of him delivering now, and at the moment he's not.
Those mystical powers look like they came from Leighton Orient.
Oh, Rick took his time there, but probably worth it in the end.
Oh, Grasshopper, there are lessons to learn here.
And now the Kung Fu is centering, he's focusing. Perhaps he's praying.
I told you he was praying. What is he doing? What is he doing?
Mike, these are powers beyond your knowledge and control. I think you just want to stick with the old bread and butter stuff that your boy Michaels is dishing out there.
And it seems to be doing him a lot of good.
For now, but there's still plenty of time left in this bout for the kid to get back into it.
Maybe he can dial 999 for Dalai Lama.
That back seen some punishment.
He's got one leg working.
Well, now as you can see here, the Kung Fu Kid is going through a lot of pain, but as well he knows that within the Kung Fu philosophy, suffering is good for the soul.
Well, then he's got a lot of soul. It's sweet soul music right there.
Rick Michaels, once again, he's strutting his stuff around this ring. He thinks he's got this one won, but of course, you know, once again, we've seen America just not going in and doing the job, Mike.
Hey, when Kung Fu gets through wrestling, he can make a good pincushion for some acupuncturist somewhere.
And once again, the kid comes back and he prepares himself mentally for the task ahead, which is to see off Rick Michaels.
Two big chops by Rick Michaels. He's got him in the corner, trapped now, and J.J. Rivers is going to have to get in and save Kung Fu from extreme punishment. Rick Michaels is getting J.J. out of the way.
I've got a sneaking suspicion that he might have to turn himself in the wrestling kid in the next couple of minutes if he wants to win this bout. I don't think the Kung Fu's working that well for the kid at the moment.
It's more like egg food than Kung Fu. Oh, and he's down on the mat now.
Rick's going for the Chinese takeaway nice and early, and he's still working away at the kid. I don't know how much more punishment the kid can take, although he is getting plenty of support from outside of the ring.
Big shoulder into the Kung Fu. Doesn't have a whole lot of oxygen, and no O2 for Kung Fu.
Well, the crowd is still G'd up. They still want their boy to win, but as to be said, Rick Michaels seems to be doing a bit of a turn on the Kung Fu Kid at the moment.
Give Kung Fu one of those foam rubber fingers. Ooh! Oh,
but there you go.
Chops and a judo kick.
Even I was too early in dismissing the Kung Fu as a tactic. It is back and it is working.
Oh, and Rick Michaels reverses that. The momentary shock is worn off. The Kung Fu with a nice move sends him through. Spinning head scissors sends him through the ropes.
It's a great opportunity for the kid to come back here. Can
Rick
he do it? Michaels is
dazed.
stunned. He doesn't know where he's going. And he takes a big hit on the floor. Great work from the kid.
Rick Michaels' head right down on the concrete floor. That was awful.
We heard the bang from here, Mike. We heard the bang from here. And the kid thinks he's got this one nailed, I can tell you. He's preparing himself now for the big one.
Oh, a little bit of Eastern promise from Rick Michaels.
I think that he may have been doing a bit of the old American overconfidence thing. Taking a big slam.
Power bomb off the top.
And now Michaels is going back up top. And you've got a feel for the kid now.
Kung Fu's not the only one who can play Stork. And that's 1, 2, 3 for the Kung Fu
Here
kid.
is your winner, Rick Michaels.
No question about that one. Got to hand it to the Kung Fu kid. He managed to marshal some of that Eastern mysticism up for 1-3 counterattack, but it wasn't enough.
Rick Michaels, I guess, deserved that one. I say grudgingly.
You see, this company is a very smart company. They flew the Americans over here, and for 8 hours, all we did was think about how dominant that the Americans are, and how each and every Brit is going down to defeat 1, 2, 3.
Well, it can count.
Hard to argue with those sentiments again. Rick Michaels makes a lot of sense, Mark. And the group table shows that Rick Michaels does indeed know what he's talking about. A flying start for the trash-talking American.
From Coventry in Warwickshire, he weighs 190 pounds, Majik!
Now here's a young man with some tricks up his sleeve.
We've seen it all now, Mark. I mean, Earth is full. Send this guy home.
Cloak and dagger performance from Majik.
You ever looked at a deck of tarot cards, Mark? You know that card, the Fool? Well, that's what I'm looking at in the ring.
Yeah, well, Majik's holding all the death cards.
And his opponent, originally hailing from Perth in Australia and now based in Nashville, Tennessee. He weighs 225 pounds, Ozzie Rulez!
Okay, Mike, explain this one to me. Representing the US of A, to the sound of a didgeridoo, Ozzie Rulez.
It's the boomerang effect. They start out in one place and they end up somewhere else, Mark. And America has always attracted top athletes in all kinds of sports who come there because the competition is better, because the rewards are greater, and because the people there know what they're doing. Well, I mean, for a country whose greatest sporting heroes are guys like Lennox Lewis and Greg Rosetsky, who are about as British as I am, you ought to talk.
Talking about some of our truest Brits there, I think you'll have you know there, Mike.
You always forget about where these guys come from, but we don't care where our heroes come from as long as they're Americans.
Now, Ozzie Rulez used to play a bit of Ozzie Rulez himself when he was back in Australia, and we understand that he may use some of those techniques in his wrestling as well. That'd be an interesting sight. Majik takes a painful blow there, and of course, as we heard earlier on from Ozzie, he quite enjoys this kind of thing, doesn't he?
Well, that's something that the world unites in, is beating up on palms. Most countries enjoy that.
Well, they may enjoy the idea of it, but they're not necessarily going to do it, because in this challenge, our guy's doing very nicely, thank you, as is Majik here.
Yeah, it's a bit of magic that he could actually pick Ozzie Rulez up.
Great move.
Rana. Beauty. Do you believe in magic?
I do now.
Ozzie Rulez letting the crowd get to him.
And that's exactly what Majik will want. He won't want that particularly, but I'm sure he's going to want Ozzie's attention distracted. That'll help him.
I think Ozzie's just reshuffled Majik's tarot deck.
Ooh. Middle section and the back of the neck, painful. Oh, one for luck.
He's going to break him like a magic wand right there. Oh! in 2.
Majik is certainly taking some pain now. And he's out of there, though.
And maybe John Hall's got arthritis in that right arm and just can't get it down 3 times.
Listen, Ozzie may have height and weight, but Majik has got the dark side, and he's still got time to win this.
They got a lot of dark side down under, and Ozzie Rulez knows all about that.
Oh, dear. Oh, yeah.
Haven't been able to keep those spells going. Can't spell the whole word out.
You talk about can't spell it. I don't think Ozzie could spell USA, could he?
Trouble coming for Majik now. Slingshot, leg drop. John Hall finally got to 3. It's about time, too.
Yeah, that was powerful stuff indeed from Ozzie.
Ozzie Rulez.
The aggressive Antipodean from Tennessee casting a spell or 2 of his own over poor old Majik. More action coming up after the break. If you're of a nervous disposition, look away now. It's the crazy man of British wrestling, Psycho Steve.
Have you got any old war stories?
No, I haven't actually.
How refreshing. How Heineken.
You're about to experience Radoxology with its secret blend of herbs and minerals. Nothing invigorates body and mind like a Radox shower. Experience Radoxology.
A rich revelation in taste. Black Gold from Nescafe. Taste it. Love it.
Nescafe.
From Atlanta, Georgia, weighing 240 pounds, Rukkus.
And now coming into the ring, the latest man from the USA, this is Rukkus.
And Rukkus is a big, tough guy. He comes from Atlanta, Georgia. He works as a bouncer. And, you know, you get a bigger and better class of troublemakers in the bars down in Georgia.
His opponent comes from Liverpool, weighing 310 pounds, the Tank!
The Tank
Now,
is here.
This is a big guy, too, but in a somewhat different way than Rukkus.
Big and good, comes in many different shapes and forms, Mike, I think you'll find.
I mean, this is 2 tons of animated blancmange.
I go with the Tank because I'm the biggest in the business and I just roll over people at will.
So I woke up one morning and realised that there was a lot of divvies out there that needed a right good spanking, so he went down to the gym and he got in shape, and that's when he started wrestling.
Tank trains hard 7 days a week, in and out of the gym all day long. He might look a bit forky, but believe me, when I roll over any of them Yankee doodle dandies, they're going to know all about it. I may look like a bad guy, but Tank always wrestles by the rules, and that's the way the fans love it, because the Tank doesn't need to cheat.
People think I shaved my hair to look tough, but I went bald at an early age.
I'll tell you one thing here, the Tank's going to spank a Yankee, and he can take it to the bank, because I'm the Tank. Who let the Tank out? Who let the Tank out?
Rukkus is a truly tough guy. You saw he came in with barbed wire around his neck. Oh, he got the tank mad.
Well, once again, you see Rukkus got suckered into that there, and the tank's using that power. There's no doubt he's got it. He's got it in there somewhere. Well hidden it might be at sometimes.
One thing, Tank is built for comfort, but he isn't built for maneuverability. Once he's going in a straight line, it's hard for him to change direction.
Misses the cover there. Don't forget, of course, this one goes the distance to the referee. 2 points for the winner, 1 for the loser. And they are wrestling in a round-robin tournament, 4 groups of 4.
They are typical English kind of manipulation. They don't just, it's not good enough to let guys win. They've got to set up these groups, set up all kinds of point systems. I mean, next thing you know, they'll be doing a penalty shootout to decide the winners.
I think that could be summed up as fair mind this, Mike. Thanks very much.
It's so the guys in the suits can control what happens. You got to win these things in the ring. There's the pot calling the kettle.
Thank you very much indeed, Tank.
And this match is all Rukkus unless he gets Tank mad. See what I mean?
Well, there's a lot of Tank to get mad, and once he, like I say, once he does, he can get busy. Ooh.
This is a war of attrition, not a war of nutrition. Compare those bodies, Mark Webster. I mean, there's an American body in shape, cut, muscle definition, and there's a British body that looks sort of like Ben Nevis turned upside down.
Mike, you missed the point. Tank is in shape. Just a rather unusual shape. Now, this is a strange move. Mike, what's he got him going there? Got to be held in.
If the referee doesn't see it, it's legal. He gets a lot of extra leverage using the ropes like that. Ooh. Tank splash.
When you've got bulk like that, this stuff comes in handy. Missed.
Should have done another splash, I think. The Tank, I mean, that covers the earth when the Tank splashes like that.
And I think Rukkus, we can safely say, felt that, though.
Rukkus getting his breath back more quickly than the Tank. There's chin lock. See, that's Tank's most vulnerable spot, is where the food goes in.
Well, Rukkus wants to be careful there because he might be a bit peckish at the moment. He could lose a finger or two.
And the crowd seems to help Tank up to his feet. Seismic.
There's not long left in this battle. You can say definitely a battle of power, this particular one, eh, Mike?
The Titans. Duel of the Titans.
Oh.
How can he lift him? Oh, and slam him. Now that's strength.
Well, you saw the ring move and the floor move where we're sitting.
Rukkus wasn't content to go for the bend. There's a splash of his own.
Got the cover on him.
Got it. 1, 2, 3. Rukkus gets the win. Hard-fought win, though. You got to give the Tank credit.
So, Rukkus, the Tank ran out of fuel.
That's right. Let me tell you something. This is for you and the rest of your stinking country. When it's all said and done, I will not only be the best, I will be the greatest of all times. I am going to the top because I am the superior athlete. I am the man. And when it comes to this business, there's none tougher. That's why they brought me here.
So you think you can go all the way, then?
Do I think I can go all the way? You're looking at the uncrowned champion right here. The only reason why they haven't given it to me yet, because all these people that got tickets to see the show want to see me rip through each and every one of them.
Well, Rukkus, thank you very much.
It's always your pleasure.
And that victory inside the distance gives Rukkus 3 points and first place in Group B. With the top 2 qualifying for the quarterfinals, it's the 2 Americans with the early advantage.
From Fort Worth in Texas, he weighs in at 215 pounds, the Prodigy!
So here he is. The US representative in this particular bout is the Prodigy. Now this is what wrestling should be all about. It could be British, Mike.
Well, I'll give you that he's a nice guy, and sometimes the Prodigy is too nice a guy. He's just not assertive or aggressive enough in getting what he wants in the ring.
And his opponent hails from Bedworth in Warwickshire. He weighs 210 pounds. This is Psycho Steve!
Yeah,
This guy makes
Psycho.
This guy makes Majik look like John Major.
Now, Steve wears that particular mask there for the protection of the public, not himself. Oh, and there are those eyes.
Now, he's actually two of the best guys in wrestling.
He's like his own tag team, Mike, isn't he, sometimes, this fella?
Absolutely. One-man tag team. I heard you trying to get friendly with him before, Mark. You just keep him away from me.
Well, I thought it was a very wise move, but he's the kind of guy you want on your side, not against you, isn't he?
Like I said, you just don't let him near this table.
And, well, interesting move there from Steve. I'm sure he knows what he's doing tactically.
I think Psycho's got another one of these strategy sessions with his inner selves.
See, Psycho may be, what can I say, a little strange, Mike, sometimes, but he's got some moves, hasn't he?
Well, he seems to just throw himself around without too much thought as to what he's doing. That's a good knee. That's going to hurt the Prodigy.
Right into the midsection there from Steve. A nice
reversal and a lot of power into that whip. Ooh, and a big elbow. You know, therapy is expensive, but a good butt kicking is cheap.
Well, he might be able to knock the other guy eventually. That might be a nice idea. Might be quite useful to Steve, that.
Standing drop kick and a beauty by the Prodigy.
Just a couple of minutes to go in this particular bout now, Mike, and I will be fair in this particular case. This Prodigy guy has got plenty of talent, hasn't he?
He does. I think it took him a little while to figure out Psycho Steve, but I think a team of psychiatrists could take a few years trying to do that.
Prodigy dishing out the therapy on Steve.
Psycho Steve doesn't have much left to wrestle for here.
Nice work.
Went to the eyes. One head case working on another guy's head. Oh, he's out of the ring.
Great move.
Him out of the ring. Now remember, they've got to get back in within the 10 count of referee J.J. Rivers.
Well, there don't appear to be any rush, Mike, at the moment.
A slam onto the concrete floor. And that's going to make it hard for Psycho Steve to get back in the ring. And we'll see, Prodigy's smart. Now he's watching the count. He knows where he is.
JJ wants him back in the ring, but Prodigy's quite happy to do his work out there at the moment.
He knows how much time he's got left. But now he... That's got to hurt. That concrete floor has got to be hurting him. See, now J.J. Rivers up to 7. Prodigy can just climb back in. Oh, Psycho Steve's hanging on. He wants in. He's grabbing his trunks. Psycho's stopping him from getting back in the ring. He had his hair out. He had his hair, but Prodigy's back. No, J.J. Rivers isn't letting him back in. He didn't beat the bell.
Strange one. Strange one indeed. I don't know if the referee's going to call it. Is J.J. going to call it?
J.J. Rivers isn't doing anything. He's just standing there.
Prodigy's calling it.
Prodigy's got his arms up in the ring, and J.J. Rivers is just standing there.
Well, the Prodigy thinks he's got it, but Steve's still there as well. And J.J., well, he's looking at both wrestlers. He's not too sure. Then the MC's looking around. He don't know. Now, this could be the resolution we're looking for. Here comes the TWC commissioner. And no doubt he'll deliver his verdict.
Well, he's the one who's supposed to control these things.
In my official capacity as the commissioner of the Transatlantic Wrestling Challenge, I have no choice but to make a ruling on this match. And the official commissioner's ruling that will stand is that because technically you held the ring longer than Psycho Steve, the Prodigy was out longer because he hit the floor first. Technically, you spent more time out of the ring, therefore the winner will be Psycho Steve.
Good call. What? What's he talking about? He wasn't the first one out of the ring. Psycho Steve was the first one out of the ring.
Oh, that's it. Well, he is the commissioner. He is the commissioner. That's the way it goes.
But that's not even a rule, Mark Webster.
Well,
it's up to the guy who stays out the longest.
We didn't know what was going to happen. We saw the situation. It's a strange one. Both guys leaving at the same time.
But you can see that Psycho Steve was the first guy out of the ring anyway, so he's wrong. The Prodigy challenged the ruling, but the commissioner insisted that video evidence was inconclusive, so the result stands. A win for Psycho Steve.
We finish on controversy, and there's will be plenty of excitement as well, and there's more of that coming up next week. Join us again.
Next week in the Transatlantic Wrestling Challenge, the Prodigy gets a chance at revenge when he takes on the bad boy of British wrestling, John Ryan.
Prodigy!
And there's bad blood between Ozzie Rulez, the Antipodean with attitude, and his arch-enemy, David Young.
David Young's going to be feeling old when I'm done. I am going to put him through the floor! I'm a professional. I do this for a living. Don't try this at home.